Welcome to another episode of Roll Up a Pull Up. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured. Alright. Now this one gonna be about my bunkie, Scott. Scott was one of the first bunkies I had when I first came to prison. Not the first, one of the first. He might have been like fourth or fifth bunkie in that I had, during my time. Man, listen, Scott was a good guy, right? So Scott, he was a white guy. I never been racist ever in my life. You know what I'm saying? And if nothing else proved that I wasn't racist, this right here did. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't spoke on this before. I didn't say it actually in my last live. I spoke on how I didn't have bunkies. I didn't had to put them out my cell. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a bunkie. He was trying to steal from me on the low. And a couple of the guys told me what my bunkie was trying to do. My bunkie was trying to ride me on some bullshit, low key, And the guys told me about it because he went telling them what he was gonna do with my shit. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up putting him out the cell. I'm like, pack your shit, go sit on base. When you in prison, that's a term that niggas use. Pack your shit, go sit on base. Meaning you going down there to tell the police, hey, I can't be in the cell with him. He gonna do something to me. He a threat. You gotta get me up out of there. That's what pack your shit and go sit on base mean. You know what I'm saying? So by the time you go sit on base, you sitting on your duffel bag, sitting on base, the police already know, like, yeah, his bunkie didn't put him out. So we got to transfer him. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to get real up in there. Well, I put dog out, right? So they give me a new bunkie. It might have took like a week to get a new bunkie. It usually don't take nowhere near that long. It might only take a couple of hours before you have a new bunkie. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't be playing. But for this situation, I rolled my room by myself for like a whole week. You know what I'm saying? Then boom, I finally get a new bunkie. It's a short, round, fat white guy named Scott. All the guys laughing at me and shit. They like, man, you got this old ass white guy coming in your cell. Woo, woo. I'm like, man, I hope he don't be on no bullshit because I don't want to have to put him out. I'm not disrespectful to my elders at all. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, if I got to, it's going to be what it is. It's prison. You know what I'm saying? Well, Scott was the best fucking bunkie I had. I done told y'all about Junebug. Junebug had the perfect energy. So he helped me with my time getting out. You know what I'm saying? But with Scott, that was around the time I first came in. So from first coming in to around the middle of my time, I had with Scott. You know what I'm saying? Junebug was at the end of my time. So I'm telling y'all about the guy from the beginning of my time, right? Man, listen. Scott, he was so fucking funny. But before I get there, he came into the cell, right? When you ride in prison, you don't have none of your property, meaning your TV, your MP3 player, your commissary store, you know, you don't have none of that. Your clothes, your shoes, you don't got shit. All you come in with is your duffel bag and your state clothes. And they gotta send your property to whatever prison you at. So basically, when you ride out of a prison, your property still remain at that prison until you get to the next prison. Then when you get to the next prison, then they transfer your property to the prison that you at. So it'll be about 2 weeks. You will be at a new prison for about a good 2 weeks before your property ride in. You know what I'm saying? So we all know how this go. When you get a new bunkie, they don't got shit. Me, I had everything. You know what I'm saying? By this time, I'm probably like a year into my time, right? I got everything. I got TV, MP3 player, store, clothes, shoes. I got everything. I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did my whole bit with no problem. I was straight. You know what I'm saying? I had everything I wanted and needed. I was getting visits. I stayed on the phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I stayed getting letters, pictures. I was loved. I was good. You feel me? So I didn't need for nothing in there. So when Scott came in, he didn't have nothing. I had put my I'm on the top bunk. The healthy guys, they put you on the top bunk. The ones that go on the bottom bunk is, the people, handicap issues, disabilities, things like that. They put them on the bottom bunk. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you could be lucky and you can get a bottom bunk. You know what I'm saying? But the bottom bunk is mainly for people with disabilities. So with me being on the top bunk, it's a little shelf at the edge of your bed where you could set your TV up at. And it's on both bunks, on the top bunk and the bottom bunk. So on the bottom bunk, you got your TV on the shelf. So basically, you could be laying down and looking at TV like this. It's sitting on your shelf at the edge of your bed. So they got both of them platforms for two TVs for the two inmates. Well, I took my TV off of my stand. I put it down on the main table because you get a table in your cell too. So in your cell, it's the locker. You got two lockers, one for you, one for your bunkie. And you got a table where you can sit down and write, draw, shit like that, right? Then you got the two beds with the two platforms to put your TVs on. Well, when Scott came in, of course, he didn't have no property. You know what I'm saying? So I wrapped it up with him real quick just to see where his head was at. He was a cool dude. I'm like, all right. So I took my TV off my stand. I put it on the desk for both of us to be able to watch it, right? Cool. Now, this is the thing with prison TVs. They don't have no speaker. So it's not like how you cut on your TV and, you just, everybody in the house can hear your TV. Like, it don't have a speaker. It's only by a headphone jack. You got to plug your headphone in to the TV. That's the only way you will hear anything. So you could walk down the whole wing full of 50, 60 cells and you won't hear not one TV. Everybody can have a TV in their room. Everybody's TV can be on. You won't hear a sound. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have headphones for it. It's just controlling. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta have headphones for it. You can buy earbuds and headphones. The headphones, they call CL20s. They clear, they, wrap around the head. They just like JBLs. They like the clear version of JBLs. They call CL20s in prison, right? So I had the CL20s as well. So what I did was I just plugged the CL20s in the TV and I turned the volume up as high as it can go. So that way me and him can hear the TV through the CL20s. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, when I got a feel for him, I saw he was cool and shit. I'm like, all right, I share my TV with him. So we rapping and kicking it for the first couple days. I'm like, damn, I actually like this guy. He cool as hell. You know what I'm saying? Man, he was telling me about his life, basically he from a city called Pontiac, Michigan. I done spoke on Pontiac a couple times. Like I said, if y'all know DDG is, that's his town. Pontiac about 30 minutes from Detroit. 20, 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So Pontiac is, under our radar, but they their own town. They do their own thing. Shout out to Pontiac, But anyway, Pontiac is a little ghetto ass city. You know what I'm saying? It's the hood. So he was saying he from Pontiac, so I already knew, what type of person he was. Basically white trash. You know what I'm saying? But white trash be so fucking funny, man. White trash people that And no disrespect to the white people. I love y'all. You know, no disrespect. But just to say, like, you know, the white trash of people, man, they the funniest fucking people in the world. I swear to God, they got a sense of humor that's through the roof. I promise. You know what I'm saying? Just like Eminem. You know, he from the trailer parks, you know, and I'm gonna explain all of that one day. But anyway, you know, them trailer parks, that's like white trash, man, them some of the funniest fucking people, man. You know, so basically he lived out in the trailer, white trash. He funny as fuck, was a fucking drunk. Scott was like 55, 56 at the time. This was 2012. So what's that? 13 years ago. It's 2025. So that was 13 years ago. So 13 years ago, I was 22, you know, 21, 22, right? And I got this older man for a bunkie. And this was my first time having an old man for a bunkie. All my other bunkies was young niggas, you know what I'm saying? So I thought that's how I was gonna do my time. Like, I see they keep on putting me around young guys. So I'm like, you know, I guess, you know, this how I'm gonna be doing my bit with a bunch of young guys. Nah, they threw me an old head, threw me Scott, you know. So of course, you know, it was things I couldn't relate on with him because he older and he didn't, you know, did different things I haven't did. Mind you, at that time, I was still in the hood. You know what I'm saying? I still had that hood mentality. I ain't did shit, been nowhere for real. I was on street time. You feel me? So, you know, he was a grown man. So, like, we talked all the time, but then, like I said, it was some things that he done did that I couldn't relate to, you know? And it was shit that I was on that he couldn't relate to. But for some odd reason, we never had a problem. Ever. You know what I'm saying? And with the headphone issue, right? So I had put my CL20s on top of the TV so we could hear, you know, the TV, right? Maybe about 2 or 3 days in, Scott started getting cool with people. Let me say this about Scott. Scott was well-rounded. He was a good guy. He had a wife out there, you know what I'm saying? He had all of the same shit, TV, MP3 player, store, all of that. He was good, you know what I'm saying? And he told me all that when he came in the cell. Well, you won't know if a motherfucker got anything until they property ride in. So a lot of times niggas will be coming in there lying like, yeah, I got a TV, I got this, I got that, you know, trying to make it seem like they got something. But then when they property ride in, they don't got shit. You know what I'm saying? They like, oh man, they left my TV there. Oh man, they left my MP3 player, man. Like, nah, nigga, you didn't have it, you know. But sometimes people be lying, you know, to try and create a little image to guys at the prison that they with, you know. But when Scott was telling me he had everything, he was straight, I knew he wasn't lying. You know what I'm saying? I just knew it. I knew he wasn't lying. So I'm like, you know, it's all good, you know. So I'm the type, I don't mind to share my things, you know. So I shared my store with him. My locker was open to him. I had a locker and never put a lock on it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't worried about nobody taking shit from me. You know what I'm saying? And if I fuck with you, my locker is open to you. If you want to go in there and grab a bag of chips, you know, some noodles or something, a honey bun, whatever, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? I don't got no problem with you. You don't even got to tell me. You know what I'm saying? If I fuck with you, you can go on my locker. That was on my kids. Every bunkie I had that I fucked with, my locker was open to them. And that pretty much was all my bunkies. I just had one. That was the one that I had to kick out. He the only one my locker wasn't open to. And it was, you know what I'm saying, until I heard he was trying to get down on me. Then it was a wrap on that. But everybody else, my locker was open to him. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had no problem with that. You know, just don't, you know, try and steal shit from me. But other than that, I let my bunkies use my headphones, my MP3 player, whatever. You know, I didn't care. You know, that shit didn't mean nothing to me. I didn't give a fuck. what meant to me was having a good bunkie. You know what I'm saying? Whoever you is that I got to deal with, me and you got to have an understanding. You know what I'm saying? Or it's not going to work. That's what I cared about. Other than that, I was straight. You know what I'm saying? I don't got no snitching on my name. I don't got no co-defendants. You know what I'm saying? I don't got no bad rep or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I stood on business for everything that ever happened. You know, people been there, know about all type of shit, everything, you know? So I was to a point where I'm like, look, you know, I'm not putting no lock on my locker because they advise you to put a lock on your locker because your bunkie could go in there and steal some shit. Or, you know, a nigga from another cell could slide up in your cell and steal your shit. You know what I'm saying? So they advise you to put a lock on your locker. Me, I never put a lock on my locker. I did 4 years and never put a lock on my shit. You know what I'm saying? On my kids, never. And I was in there with gorillas and never put a lock on my shit. You feel me? So anyway, my shit was open to him for the first 2 weeks before his shit finally rolled in. You know what I'm saying? I had no problem with it. You know, me and him, we was chilling. We was good. You know, his shit ride in. He got everything that he said. You know, he wasn't lying. His wife was coming to visit him. She was sending him money, you know, sending him pictures, or whatever he wanted done, she did it. So everything about Scott checked out. I gave him 10 more points for that. You know what I'm saying? Not only, you know, he talked it, but he bagged it up. Because a lot of times niggas be lying. They be lying. Because they know they got about a good 2 weeks before they property ride in. So they already thinking of a story on what they gonna say about their property when they come in, because they know they don't got this shit. So they thinking of a lot to come up with. But in between time, they telling you they got all this shit. They lived his life. They did this, they, you know, trying to create an image, you know, but be lying. Well, Scott wasn't lying. He was straight. So we good. We got all the same thing. He funny as fuck. I don't know where he get that shit from. Like I said, it's that white trash type shit, man. Like, you would just have to have white trash friends to understand, you know. And man, I promise, he was the funniest motherfucker I ever came across. Like, my damn cheeks would be hurting, you know, from laughing so much all day. I'd be literally crying. You know what I'm saying? Like how you say, you texting and say, I'm dead, I'm crying, laughing, and all of that. No, this shit was real. I had laughs in there that I ain't even had out here in the world. I had laughs in there off of that guy that I ain't even had out here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe it's because, you know, the body is so pure at that point, you know, so like, it's like the body real sensitive, you know. Man, I be in there crying, laughing. This guy, Scott, was fucking amazing. You know what I'm saying? When at first, I thought might have to put his ass out one day. You know what I'm saying? Because like me and him, we wasn't nothing alike. And I was a young nigga at that time, so I was on young nigga time, you know? I was still banging and everything at that time, you know? So I didn't know if me and Dog was gonna work out, you know what I'm saying? Man, it turned out to be the best fucking bunkie of my life. Richard Scott Hallenbeck. If y'all could find him, please send him my way. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was the best fucking bunkie I had during my whole 4 years. Swear to God, like, that guy was amazing, you know. And he was a hustler, you know what I'm saying? He was a hustler, man, you know. But at this time, me and him a couple of months in, right? he this my dog. You know what I'm saying? When a lot of niggas like the gangbangers and shit, they didn't fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? So they'd be looking at me weird, like why you fuck with him? Woo woo. Like nigga, that's my bunkie, and he a real nigga for real. Why y'all playing like y'all looking at him because he a short, fat white guy? So y'all thinking he a bitch and he ain't on nothing and blah blah blah. Like nigga, real life, this man is smart as hell. He funny as fuck. You know what I'm saying? He cool as fuck. He got all his own shit, so he don't need for nothing. He not out here trying to, rob nobody on some bullshit, make the sale high. None of that. Like he was a well-rounded man. He was clean. He ain't never stink. Not one time ever. And mind you, this is an old white man. An old, short, fat white man that did. He stayed clean, all of that, and was funny as fuck, killing these damn comedians. I told y'all, there's people in there with talent that can change the world. His talent with making people laugh was ridiculous. Like, he did it with ease. Like, he wouldn't even try it. It'd just be him talking and you looking at him and shit. Like, it was just all in one. It was funny as fuck, dog. I mean, literally crying, laughing. I probably done lost a good 10 pounds just off of laughing off of him. You know what I'm saying? Honestly. Promise you. But at this time, we a couple months in, right? Man, I'm walking the yard with him. We spending laps, talking shit. You know what I'm saying? I got my arm around him like, this my dog. You feel me? Niggas on the yard looking like, what the fuck he on? You know what I'm saying? My name was Little in prison, so they called me Little. You know what I'm saying? They like, what the fuck Little on? You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, this my mans. The fuck y'all goofies? Y'all don't even know him. And it's because they just see him, on the yard or in the day room or whatever, and they think he just a lame. But I'm in a cell with this man. So I know him. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, nah, that nigga is funny as hell and he real. Like, you just don't know. You know what I'm saying? So the guys just had to respect it. Like, shit, that's him. If that's what worked for him, fuck it, So niggas gave me that, I mean, it wasn't nothing gonna happen anyway, but, niggas gave it that, like, fuck it, obviously, dog, know something that bro, fuck with him like that, Man, listen, like I said, this a couple months in, just so happened his homeboy rolled in. His homeboy named Coy. You know what I'm saying? Now, I then told y'all they would just ride you out at any given moment. You know what I'm saying? And it's a guarantee you gonna ride out eventually. Some guys can do 20 years at one prison, Some guys, they only can do 20 days and they ride you out. But one day, you gonna get rolled out. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much time you do at a prison, you gonna get rolled out. That's just what it is. They need the space. So they gotta move people around. You know what I'm saying? So you gonna get rolled out. It's gonna happen. So this is just one of them days. His homeboy Coy rolled in. You know what I'm saying? Ah, man. Coy was a tall, skinny, lanky white guy. He looked like Shaggy. You know what I'm saying? Man, Coy was cold, talented. You know what I'm saying? Could do tattoos, all that shit. Yeah, tattoos in prison. You know what I'm saying? And this ain't at no tattoo parlor or none of that. These tattoos in prison. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, there's guys in there with talent. So how you see guys with tattoos and shit in prison, yes, they know how to do that shit. And they don't get to go to no class and do it or none of that. Niggas is tattooing niggas on the yard and in the cell. You know what I'm saying? Mainly in the cell. You get a couple niggas that do some little shit on the yard, because they have to or whatever. So they'll go pick a little blind spot, and go ahead and tattoo real quick or something. but mainly it's in the cell. You know, man, look, that was I did a live about this, and I said, yeah, I got tattoos in prison. You know, on my arms, my chest, my back, all that. I made a live about this, so go watch the live. But I was saying I wanted some tattoos. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm looking for somebody that do tats. You know what I'm saying? That's what me and Scott was talking about. Just so happened Corey rolled in and Corey do tats. You know what I'm saying? Scott instantly hollered at him. And Corey was in another unit. We was in 2 block. Corey was in 1 block. You know, on Adrian, it's 3 units. 1 block, 2 block, 3 block. You know, and each block might had about 500-600 inmates in each unit. You know what I'm saying? So it's about 1,500 of us on the yard when they open yard. But if yard ain't open, you just in your one unit with all the guys you in that unit with. So Corey was in 1 block. My bunkie hollered at him. He like, hey man, I need you to tat up my bunkie. Whoop whoop. He needs some shit done. Corey came hollered at me. He like, you know, you fuck with Scott. Scott fuck with you. He like, I got you. I'm gonna come to your cell and tat you up. Man, he came to the cell. He brought all his equipment, tatted me up arms, you know what I'm saying? My chest, my back, tatted me up in prison. That's a whole nother story, you know. But he did, and I paid him. You know what I'm saying? I paid him. You know. And that was over 10 years ago. And my shit's still good. You feel me? Like, it's guys in there with talent, man. You know what I'm saying? It's guys in there with talent. And I'm just saying this because it was one of the things that Scott did for me. You know, right when I was looking for a tattoo artist in that bitch, and they be taxing, and then they want you to come to their unit, so it make it, you know, hard for you because you can't go to other people's units. You know what I'm saying? So Corey was willing to come to my unit. You know what I'm saying? Scott stood at the door and made sure, you know, when the cops came do their rounds, you know, let us know to stop. So, you know, we get information when the cops come around and do their round, you know. Then after they do their round, we back tatting. You feel me? And man, it took Corey like a week, you know, to do all my shit. And then, you know, after he do so much for the day, he pack his shit, walk back out the building, go back to his, go back to his unit. So he do that. He did that every day for about a week. You know what I'm saying? Man, got me together. Man, Scott was one of the guys, man, for real. He was one of the guys. So big salute to Scott. You know, we been through a lot. We did a lot. Again, his name Richard Scott Hallenbeck. So if y'all ever come across him, send him my way. You know, that's my boy for real. But he helped me with my time when I first came in. So, you know, I learned a lot from him. He was hilarious. He was a great guy. You know, he had everything. He had connections, resources, all type of shit. You know, he was a good dude. And then one night they rolled me out. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't seen him since. So if anybody, you know, can find him, let me know. I greatly appreciate it. You know, that was my boy for sure. So if you hear from him, let me know. I definitely miss my dog. That was a real one. You know, and this was an old fat white guy. You know what I'm saying? And man, I swear I went from being so high-headed to being on chill. And it came from him, you know, because he just had that spirit. Crazy, man. It's been another episode of Roll Up a Pull Up. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured.